30 minutes, Issues and Attitudes will tackle and dissect issues that affect your life. This program is a production of Hitmix 88.9 WEIU, Coles County's radio source for news, weather, and live Eastern Illinois Panther sports, along with Charleston High School sports. The opinions expressed on this program do not necessarily reflect the opinions of WEIU-FM, our underwriters, or the Board of Trustees of Eastern Illinois University. Issues and Attitudes airs each Monday at noon on 88.9 WEIU-FM. Now it's time for Issues and Attitudes.
And a very good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Issues and Attitudes. My name is Jeff Owens, Director of WEIU-FM. My co-host is Casey Berry.
Hello.
Casey from WEIU TV and radio.
I'm a little bit of both.
Her second show. So, and making a repeat appearance, we're talking today with the Charleston Chamber of Commerce, Executive Director Cindy White.
Hello.
And the President of the Chamber of Commerce, Mr. Rance Higgins.
Hello, Jeff.
I'm going to have you turn that and pull that mic a little closer to your Rance. So let's just start it out with, what's happening, what's new at the Charleston Chamber of Commerce.
Well, we've had a busy spring already. We had several events over the last few weeks. We've got some more planned coming up, lots of things in progress. In the past month or so, we had a major new event called What Women Want. It was on Thursday, April 12th. It was focused, as the title says, on putting things together of interest to women. It was our old wine tasting, kind of on steroids. And so What Women Want was wine, chocolate, food, music, shopping, and we had a little mini expo as part of that. We had 32 vendors who were promoting products and services that are of interest to women. We had over 220 women attend. We were a little bit overwhelmed. But we were very pleased with that turnout. And we saw people from all around the county and even some outlying areas. So that's always nice to have an event and have some new people attend. And then we had our second annual prayer breakfast on May 3rd, and I'll let Rance talk about that because that was originally his brainchild.
There you go, Rance.
Well, we increased the number of people that attended the prayer breakfast this year. Last year we had 120. We upped that to 150 this year. It was a very neat program. We had Tom Logan with the Marion Medical Mission came and talked about his experiences that he's had in Africa. We spend time reflecting in prayer. We had music provided by Mark Esri and Wally Carlson with the United Methodist Church, and they provided some of the music that they did at Godspell.
That's very neat. Let's start back a little bit and talk about what a Chamber of Commerce does for a community, and specifically what your chamber does. But in general, what does a chamber do for a community?
Well, chambers of commerce are membership organizations. And a lot of people don't really understand that distinction. They believe that we're part of the city, or we get funding from the city or the county or wherever. And I've even had people say to me, well, you're just paid by the city, and that's not true. As a membership organization, our members obviously choose to be a member of our organization, and therefore our customers and our first priority are to provide benefits and services for members. So with that being said, we are the premier member-driven organization that is all about promoting not only our area, but specifically promoting our businesses and helping them to get their name out, to build relationships, network, bring people together. And we kind of focus on our existing businesses because those are our members, but we also dip our hands into helping to recruit new businesses to the area.
Okay.
So I see that you have quite a few events actually coming up this week. Can you tell us a little bit about what's going on this week?
Well, this week we do have a business before hours, and that is on this Thursday, which is May 17th, from 7:30 to 8:30 a.m., and that will be hosted by Kogel Senior Apartments. Now, a business before hours is a relatively newer networking event that we've been doing the last couple years. We've had the business after hours, which are held in the evenings for years, but the business before hours, we tried that. We added that to our calendar as a little bit of a different time frame. Like I said, it's 7:30 to 8:30 in the morning. So we're seeing some additional people get out to those who maybe can't make it in the evenings because they're tied up with kids' activities, or they're still at work, or whatever constraints there may be in the evening. So that 7:30 to 8:30 time frame, they can buzz by on their way to work, stop in. It also opens up more dates for our businesses to host a networking event, because those business after hours, which are only 12 a year because we have one a month, they fill up pretty quickly. So yes, we've got a business before hours, and then actually later in the month, that's going to be May 31st. Right near the end of the month, we have a ribbon cutting. And we, at the Chamber of Commerce, we like ribbon cuttings because that means new businesses or something new is going on. And that will be hosted by the Brookstone Estates and their new memory care unit that they're just opening up. So that's Thursday, May 31st from 4:30 till 6:30, I believe it is. The actual ribbon cutting will be at 5.
Now, Rance, when you go out or you talk to people that come to town, I mean, how do you convince them to join a Chamber of Commerce?
Well, I mean, everybody that joins the chamber is kind of working for a good cause. They're all trying to make Charleston a better place to live and work. And when it comes down to who's the cheerleader of a community, it's the chamber, and it's always. People always say, well, somebody ought to do this. Well, a lot of times it's the chamber is the one that jumps in and does that. And if you're not part of that membership, you kind of don't have that voice, or you could still suggest it, and we may still try to take it and run with it. Yeah. But you need to support that. Well, somebody ought to do this. Somebody ought to do that. And I mean, that's one of the main reasons. But there's also networking opportunities. We have this new Chamber Nation website. You can get yourself on the calendar of events. You can promote your business through our email blast. Just for those reasons, you ought to recoup your money from being a member. But then there's also stuff like our energy program. You can get discounts for energy buying programs, and we're getting ready to do a natural gas energy buying group also. So, I mean, to me, there's lots of good reasons why you do get bang for your buck for being a chamber.
One of the things I want to talk about was the Chamber Nation, because I think this is really neat, is, if you're a small business in the area, you can join the Charleston Chamber of Commerce, and I know you're joining the chamber out at a fee, which we can talk about fees, but with part of that fee is you get a free website. Cindy?
Absolutely. First of all, you're automatically integrated into the business directory, the searchable business directory, which is just part of our website, because this new website looks all pretty on the front, but what's running at the engine, running it in the background, is all of our member data records. So that's all integrated in it. So once you join the chamber, you're automatically in that business directory. It's searchable by keywords, by name, by category, all kinds of ways. And as you talk to people, more and more people do their research on the internet first. We probably get fewer calls these days about, do you have a business in town that does such and so? They're going to our website first, and we're seeing the hits there. And you're right, one of the additional benefits of being a chamber member, again, this is all integrated in the new website, is a small mini website per each chamber membership, and they're called traffic catching sites. And some of them were automatically done by the Chamber Nation, who is the company we're working with for this. Others we're having to build as we go. Some people who did not previously have any kind of website, this is an opportunity to do that. I set up that small website for my husband because he didn't have one. And our intern this past semester helped several businesses in town set theirs up. And one, I think, neat testimony is a small printing company here in town had never had a website, and our intern helped them set up that traffic catching site, and within a couple weeks of setting that up, they had their first online order for a printing job. And there's no additional charge for that. You can order your domain name and get it registered, and this little website is hosted. And you're paying for any of that on your own through your business, you know that can add up.
Exactly. I mean, so it seems like in the last just few weeks, there's been success stories at the Charleston Chamber of Commerce with the prayer breakfast, the What Women Want, the small business seeing success with an online order already. So that's got to make you happy, because I mean, every time there's a success, you can go out and talk about it in situations like this. But obviously, the Charleston Chamber of Commerce, as any Chamber of Commerce, wants to grow. And so I guess what's the easiest way for someone, if they hear these successes or see these successes today, can become a member or inquire?
Easy ways are to call our office, 345-7041. Stop by our office. We're on the corner of 5th and Jackson, up by the square. Or go online. Go on to our website, charlestonchamber.com. You can literally join right through that. And we talk about the benefits of joining the chamber, and each business has their own unique needs. And so we try to kind of, when we're talking to them about membership, kind of drill it down and see what is your need, and then try to match up a benefit with that. And smaller businesses have different needs than the larger ones. But business is still about building relationships. It's still a one-on-one, build a relationship, and the chamber offers a lot of opportunities to do that.
Okay. Rance, you're also the president, or the brand manager, excuse me, of First Mid Illinois here in Charleston. How do you divide your time? I mean, obviously being the president of the chamber, it takes a lot of time, but also running a bank, I'm assuming, takes a lot of time. How do you decide what you're doing, which day and stuff?
Well, it makes it easy when you have a good executive director on the chamber. So that's the first thing.
I'll pay you later for that comment.
But no, I mean, I think what's good for the community is good for the bank, and vice versa. So I see where they both go hand in hand with each other. And you know, if we help another business through chamber, even if they're not a customer of the bank, that's going to trickle down to some other customer or some employee that may bank with us. So I see it all being integrated together, and if I help the chamber, I'm helping the bank indirectly.
There you go. How do you guys, or how does the chamber decide how they're going to take a stance on maybe a public issue or something that's going on in the community? Take us through that process.
Well, we do have our board of directors, which is supposed to be representative of our membership. But the best and I think fairest way to do that is if we have an issue coming before us that there's kind of some push that we should take a stand on it. The fairest way would be to survey our membership, and we've done that some in the past, and then take that responses. Sometimes we don't get a real high response when we do a survey like that, but then take those results to the board, and it would become a vote by the board. Okay. And a lot of times issues are very complex, and like I said, we have a big representation around the table, the board of directors, and sometimes you see people who support both sides of an issue. So sometimes we opt, rather than saying we're for or against something, we opt to educate our members. Say this is the pluses and minuses, the pros and cons of this issue. You make your own decision based on this information.
Okay. The other thing I know you guys that we have coming out here soon is the new community profile guide, which I believe is the first time in a few years. So talk about that and what it will do for the community.
That is a community profile book, like you said, and that we view that as that warm and fuzzy piece, the quality of life piece, rather than dry facts and figures. It's we are working with a company out of Pinckneyville, Illinois called Community Link, and you're right, it has been many years since there's been a booklet like that. I think it's been close to 20 years since one was done. And at that time, it was done by 4 major sponsors in the county. This time it's ad-based, so we have our chamber members who are advertising space in the booklet. It's going to be 16 pages plus cover. It's got sections on business, economic development in the area, on education, because education is really important in this county, a section on healthcare, because again, that's a strong part of the economic engine in this area, culture and recreation, our neighborhoods, housing, and they needed one more page of copy. We thought we were all done, and they needed one more page of copy, so we did add some important phone numbers and some facts and figures. So that has now gone in for the final proof. And we are looking in 4 to 5 weeks having the printed copy. That'll be full color. We're very excited about it. It should be, we'll also get like a PDF format of it, so we will upload that to our website, so it will be accessible from there, and then we'll have the actual printed copies to distribute.
Yeah, that's pretty neat for the first time in 20 years, so that'll be exciting for the community. The other thing I want to talk about is there things that people don't know that the Chamber does, stuff that that you, in terms of from behind the scenes, or maybe that you do every day that people don't know? Hate to throw a curveball at you, but I thought about that. Is there, I mean, you guys do a lot to serve the community, but is there things that people maybe not know that you do?
Most people probably don't understand the full breadth of what's offered through this website and how things are becoming more and more web-based. And we also do have the capacity through our website to offer mobile apps for our members, so of their own websites can be made into an app, because more people are using their smartphones to look at things. So that's out there. There's we have exclusive marketing opportunities for our members, whether it's in something like the community profile book that we just talked about. We have advertising space on our website. We have things like our upcoming golf outing, which we have sponsorships, which involves signage out on the golf course, various sponsorships for other events throughout the year. So there's
lots of stuff.
Yeah, it's a long list of what we do, and it is interesting what sometimes the misconceptions that people have of what we do.
Well, let's talk a little bit about the golf outing. I know it's upcoming here in late June. Talk about what people can do and people can expect at our golf outing.
Yeah, it's set for Friday, June the 22nd, and it's at the Charleston Country Club. We have registration starting as early as 10:30 to 11:30. Lunch starts 11 to 12. Even if you don't golf, you can sure come out and join us for lunch. Lots of fun events like a putting contest. There's all sorts of skill contests throughout the day. Hole-in-one prize. Beat the mayor. Try to drive him on a hole. Anyway, it's a fun day. It's a fun day to network with people. It's a fun day to spend with your with your individual team. Everybody gets together at dinner that night and gets to brag about how well they shot or complain about how bad they shot. But anyway, and there's always lots of door prizes, and I think everybody that comes just has a great time.
And I think what Cindy said earlier is also important, is that since you're not tax based and things like this, it is a major fundraiser to really keep the chamber going.
It is, yeah.
Okay. There's something you were talking about in a workshop for SCORE before we got on the air, and talk about that for maybe the people who don't understand what SCORE is in this upcoming workshop.
SCORE is a national organization that offers free and confidential business mentoring for people. And the Chamber has partnered with our local SCORE chapter. We helped to get it started. It's been nearly 8 years ago now. So we're a partner in that process.
Yeah.
So whenever they're doing something, we help to promote it. And SCORE, like I said, it's a national organization. There are chapters throughout the United States. And they have a new initiative out, which is really pretty neat. It's called Veteran Fast Launch. And it's focused on veterans, returning veterans, and their family members can attend the workshops that are offered by SCORE at no cost. And we have a workshop coming up on June 14th, which just happens to be Flag Day.
Very appropriate.
See the connection there. And it will be held in Mattoon at the Days Inn in Mattoon. It's an evening workshop from 6 to 9 p.m. And the topic of that workshop is simple steps for starting a business. What it does is walks you through the steps of how to start a business. So with this veteran initiative layered on top of it, the hope is to draw in some veterans who are coming back from serving in the service and maybe looking around, what am I going to do employment-wise? And as we all know, some of the best opportunities are for the entrepreneurs and really to make your own money, start your own business.
Yep.
So this is being funded by a grant through the Walmart Foundation. And so in effect, they're like getting scholarships to go to this workshop, and the workshop is normally $25. Anybody can attend. You don't have to just be a veteran. If you're a non-veteran, you can attend for $25 or bring a business partner or spouse or son or daughter or whoever's going into business with you, and that's $35. Or if you're a veteran, it's no charge. And that's June 14th.
Okay. The other thing I wanted to ask you about is when somebody has a complaint about a business in Charleston, how do you handle that when they call you? I know it's got to be private, but talk about the process.
And that is, we talk about some of the misconceptions, what the chamber does. A lot of people equate us with a Business Better Bureau, that we are the watchdogs and we're going to go in and police activities of local businesses. And we are sensitive to those issues that come up and certainly listen to them. And if it's a chamber member, I will go and privately speak with that chamber member. And there's always two sides to every story, so sometimes you end up mediating. Sometimes if it's a non-member, I would recommend that they literally do call the Better Business Bureau, which is located in St. Louis, that serves this area. Or there's a process through the Attorney General's office through the state of Illinois. I think there's a consumer complaint form that we have in a printed format, or I suspect you can go online and file it.
Okay. For you, Rance, when you start, I mean, since you're the chamber president, plus you running a business here in Charleston, we've seen an upswing a little bit, I think, in business development as well as business overall in Coles County. How would you, from a banking point of view and a chamber point of view, look at the business climate in Coles County, specifically Charleston right now? Do you see an uptick?
I think so. I think just what we've seen through the chambers, unbelievable. Memberships up, sponsorships are up. We're filling all the business after hours, almost like a year in advance. I mean, a couple years ago, that didn't happen. I mean, we were having to skip some months. We weren't able to fill everything up. So I think definitely things are better. I think during times of economic hardship, kind of the best businesses rise to the top, and I think some of the businesses are actually stronger for it. So. I think people have a lot of pent-up demand. They've been talking about doing things for years and years, and hey, it's finally time to pull the trigger and let's make some things happen. And the sky didn't fall like people had thought 2 or 3, like they thought 2 or 3 years ago, and people aren't pulling in their horns. They're ready to grow their businesses again. So it's a great time to do business. And
I'm going to ask you the next question then. Have you heard whispers or rumors of anything coming to Charleston, or any new businesses that possibly could be coming, You don't have to give us names, but are people thinking about coming to Charleston? I guess maybe that's the best way to word it.
There might be a few little nibbles out there. I think what I've seen more of is a shift. People moving from one location to another. And those are good too, because you usually see an upgrade in the property when that's done. And then that opens up something else, usually of maybe of a lesser value or lesser cost. And then so a newer business can move in. So that shift has been in process, I think. And then when that all settles, we'll see what properties are available. I haven't heard of any big, new, wonderful
now we're trying to bring
retailers coming to town. Of course, the
hotel has been all.
Yeah, when you look at the west side of town and just that corner there where the county market, and of course the Walgreens and the CVS will be there, and a little farther down what's been done at the hotel, there's been a lot of really nice positive things. There's been a lot of good things happening on 18th Street. That's where we're seeing some of that shift that I was talking about. And like I said, every time that happens, there's an improvement in the business. I mean, they fix it up, So.
It'd be nice if the corner here, right up here, the Domino's corner, I call it, because that's a prime location. I mean, and so since Domino's closed, it'd be nice for something to pop up there for sure.
Right.
A few minutes left. Anything that we have forgotten in terms of events coming up? Casey, you have anything you want to ask?
Well, I see there's a mini carnival coming up tomorrow. Can you talk a little bit about things like that going on your chamber website, or
a mini carnival?
That's what it says. I don't know. Okay.
It's probably on the events part.
It's probably on the event calendar, which is we can talk about the event calendar because it's really a community calendar, and that was our intent when we created it. So, like if you would click on that, you'll see who's hosting that, and I'm not sure who's hosting it, but
you're supposed to know everything.
I'm falling down on my duties here.
Uh-oh.
But we enter all of our chamber events on there, and the really neat thing is we can register for events online now. So we saw that with What Women Want, and the prayer breakfast was the first events people really started using that online registration. And by online registration, they can even pay online.
That's nice. Makes it convenient for everyone.
But then as we talk about the community calendar, that's available to all of our chamber members. And I know EIU, their Office of Continuing Education, or it's Lifetime Learning now, they uploaded all of their workshops and everything they have coming. So that's a lot of what you'll see on that calendar. But that is open to any community member out there to put their events on this community calendar.
Okay, that's where I was going next, is the relationship between the town and the gown, as they call it, the Eastern Illinois and the Chamber of Commerce. Talk about the relationship.
Well, I think we're striving all the time. I mean, obviously we're in a little bit of two different worlds, you know, but I think there are good, strong relationships with EIU. President Perry comes regularly to our board meetings. We have, for example, you're on our board of directors. We always have a representative from the university who's serving on our board, and same way with the city. There's lots of things we do together. I mean, I think all those relationships are strong, and we strive to keep them open and strong.
The other thing that we talked about in our last board meeting, which is kind of, I had not known that much about it, but it's called geocaching. I know there's going to be an event either next year, I believe, and talk about geocaching, what it is, and I'll give you about a minute to talk about that, Cindy, if you want.
Okay, I don't know if a minute will cover it, but geocaching it's kind of like a massive computer-based scavenger hunt. And these geocaches are hidden all over the world. And there's going to be a large regional event next spring, May 3rd, out at Lake Shelbyville, and that will bring probably about 1,500 geocachers to the area. And I understand there are over 500 geocaches in Coles County alone. So we hope to kind of piggyback on that event and get the word out to the geocachers to come our way and look for our geocaches we have over here.
Now Casey's a recent graduate. Now, are you familiar with geocaching?
I am actually not. I've heard of it, and I really don't know a whole lot about it. I've done a little bit of research, but I don't really know what it entails.
Because to me, Rance, it seems like 500 in Coles County is a lot, but you know, if you don't know,
it's all based on coordinates, GPS coordinates. So you have to be into technology, and there's some computer stuff you log in, and a lot of it's just about finding it and getting your name on the log and saying, I found X number of geocaches.
So do you take the stuff from the geocache, or is just finding it is the fun, right?
Some of each.
So
the bigger ones literally have little trinkets in it, and you're supposed to take something out and put something back in, and others are little mini little geocaches, and all you do is put your initials in. It's all about finding it and logging and saying that you found it.
Okay. Well, real quickly, give us the Chamber website, Chamber phone number, information if anybody wants to contact the Charleston Chamber of Commerce.
Website, charlestonchamber.com. Phone number, 345-7041. And we're located at the corner of 5th and Jackson, just west of the downtown square.
Well, Cindy White and Rance Higgins, we appreciate you coming in today on this Monday to talk about the Charleston Chamber of Commerce and really any Chamber of Commerce and the benefits of joining. So appreciate you both coming in.
Thank you.
This is HitMix 88.9 and WEIU.